we know it will happen. There are some who find out within a week, 7 to 10 days, only to lose that loved one. So I'm not being insensitive when I say some of the things I'm saying. I just want you to see the other side. There's responsibilities for those of us who are healthy and free of it at this point. We have responsibilities. There's things we should do and remember. So I want you to note that what's new, first of all, I don't want to dwell on it, but I need you to understand why I was showing you the numbers the last few days. Because I'm going to go back to March 16th. How far did let me go back? Okay, March 15th, we had 138 deaths right now, right? And that's in Spain. In the United States, we had March 15th, 57. Okay? Now, according to this diagram, every 4 days, the death toll doubles. And you have to understand, I told you about the lagging part the other day, is that people who are battling hundreds of thousands, more than 100,000 people who have it, right? Some are getting better. A lot still have it, and there are thousands on ventilators. So a lot of the doubling in the death doesn't mean new people are getting it and dying from that, but a lot of the older ones are. So there's a lag, there's a drag behind. But I want you to follow the trend. On March 15th, we had 57 people. And by March 20th, 5 days later, we had 150. But by March 23rd, 471. By March 27th, last week, we had 1,200. By March 30th, the beginning of this week, we had 2,500 when I did the video. By April 2nd, 2 days ago, it was 51. Now, 2 days later, we're at 7,157. 1,100 new deaths. Isn't it interesting that in spite of hopefully reaching our peak soon, that we're still seeing the doubling every 4 days? It's more than doubling, but doubling is the safest route to go, to say. That isn't changing. And because it isn't changing, I want you to understand why I'm saying some of the things I'm saying. So I'm not going to talk much about the new cases. You know that. You got news all around you. I just want you to understand, we just saw someone today in the news who was passing away, and she said it was just a big left-wing hoax, and it was a big, a conspiracy type thing, only to be overcome by this horrific pandemic. So today I want to talk about the love letters that I believe we have in front of us. The love letters, an opportunity for us to see what's possible. There are many times in history we've seen what the world has gone through. We can go back to the depression of 1890s. We could step up into the World War I, the pandemic of 1918. We could step into World War II, the Korean conflict, the Vietnam conflict, civil rights movement. We can move up into way back to the Johnstown flood. We can go to Prohibition. We could look at almost any part of history and see this. We could see during the 80s. We could see what the Ukraine had to go through. We could see what the Soviet Union had to go through. We can see the different challenges that our people have had around our world. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and in every case, it took work to get things back to normal. It took work. And I want you to see something. We have an opportunity to regain some things. And I believe, I'm looking at you, but I need you to look 1 second. I'm taking a look at my notes. We must wake up. We have to together wake up, because we're in a situation where a country its claim to fame is the War of Independence. We fought for independence like many of your countries. I don't know where you live today, but we know that the independence is a big deal. I'll never forget, as a child in the 6th grade, the bicentennial year, 200 years of independence, not depending on someone else. And we became pretty clever. Unfortunately, the generations that preceded the current one come from a world of work that produced amazing results, amazing power, right? And amazing leverage. And where we're at today, we're seeing the outcome. We became a little too intelligent. We outsmarted ourselves. Whereas we embraced the work, but unfortunately we embraced more the results of the work. And we believed it was just because we were already the greatest nation in the world. We're the best of everything. There was an arrogance that hit us, and we can do something about that. We knew that there were mistakes in history. If in fact you outsource your work, you're missing a lot of the blessing if you don't do the work yourself. Wasn't it a challenge no less than a few hundred years ago, right? That lasted for more than 100 years? This thing of slavery, outsourcing the work because we are at a point we're just using our brains, we don't have to work. And there was a cost. There was a huge cost. Many lives lost. There wasn't just a civil war. There was civil rights movement where children were hung from trees, and there was a shame that went with the country. We began to kill our own leaders, our own presidents, our own civil rights leaders. A lot of things have occurred. Outsourcing is not a bad thing in moderation. But if you can't see anything as an entrepreneur today who carries a certain amount of shame because I own companies in other countries right now. Yes, did I have an excuse that several administrations in a row, they punished the business owners by overcharging and overtaxing so you can't employ people, you can't even have a business. So the government would have to own you. It was easy to go to another country. Now looking back, I kind of have a lot of regrets. I would love to right now undo that. I just wish we worked together, the people and the government. Unbelievable. In your lifetime and mine, we watched some of the greatest industries move to Mexico and China and other parts of our world because it was too expensive and too difficult to do it here at home. So, I'm going to tell you that I think what this all means is we have to look at the new, and we have to embrace the new and the old, but we have to remember what's moderation and what shouldn't be. There was never anything wrong with work. I remember as a child, one of 7 children. My dad, if it's Saturdays, we fought. All of our friends, they watched cartoons, they did everything. My dad would say, nothing but elbow grease. Get outside. I want you to go cut the grass. Go work in the garden. He wanted work out of us. I've got you strong boys at home. You're not going to just lay around and do nothing. I'll never forget, I thought he was torturing us. Come on, we're going to go change the transmission. I'm thinking, what's wrong with the transmission, Dad? It's slipping. I don't hear any slipping. Get down there and be quiet. Go get that board, go over there, get this, go get the jack, and we had to go to work. Interestingly enough, I'll never forget the promise of having my own money, my own things. My parents made us want to have our own because we worked so hard with them. Watch this. We had to go. When it was time to be 14, you can get your working papers. If your parents signed it, you could work. Get your first summer job. Whoa. Make like $120 every 2 weeks or something like that. And boy, was it nice. Only to find out that not only did we work, we had to pitch in. It was our survival. We had to all work together. I was able to keep like $20. My parents had to pay bills. I learned some valuable lessons. My parents didn't outsource it. Isn't it interesting? As even some of us who come from a history of slavery or misuse, as soon as we get money, we import people to work in our gardens, in our lawns. It's pretty sad that we're there. But don't worry, I'm getting to a point. I don't want you to get lost in this. I just want to just prove a point. I need you to understand something. We have love letters right in front of our face. We have a history we can look at. We saw that as our world overcome the 3 Mile Island and so many other incidents all over the world and plane crashes, it came because people worked for solutions. We should work for solutions and not outsource them. It's sad to think that the only way we can save more lives and trim down this doubling that's taking place of the death toll is we have to call China when our country used to produce everything. The United States produced almost every major resource around the world. Following World War II, we were responsible for more than 60% of the world's resources. Before the war, we were only responsible for less than 16% because we all worked and came together. And right now it's time for us to come back together and be creative and figure it out. Let's embrace the old working age and let's get past this 4-hour work week. Let's get past this idea we outsource everything. We have less work to do and just make more money. We have to really get a good look at ourselves. It's an opportunity to look in the mirror and see how ugly it is and fix it quickly, or our children won't have a place to play in. We could spend time majoring on the minors, talking about how the government doesn't like us and all that stuff. We could be victims or we can be victors. Right now, we all lose if we aim that cannon at each other. We need to look at this issue and jump on it together. There's more than the death toll. Did you not know that if you look at the recession of 2008, it didn't start in 2008, it started in December 2007. It didn't trickle down to the rest of us until September of 2008. We didn't begin to feel it economically, where businesses were closing and more than 20,000 homes a day were being foreclosed upon. That didn't happen until mid-2009. See how long it took? If we don't get our junk together soon, we're at the doorway of this recession. And yes, unless there's a bailout, 1 to 3 airlines will go under. Several hotel chains will go under. This is going to require some bailouts or just a heck of a lot of work. But within this will come some innovative opportunities with a clean canvas. We should embrace the old and embrace the new. Then we fight to regain our independence through the way we're going to work. We can be creative again. If you've been sent home on lockdown, shame on you if you spend 10 hours a day binging Netflix. Create something. Go to work. Find out what you can do. Maybe you can make masks. Maybe you can't make masks. Maybe you can volunteer to work a registration table where they are testing. Maybe you can do something. Go to work. Go to work. The innovation you come up with may feed your family for the next few decades. I know I like to go on tangents, right? So, certainly, we can embrace the old and new, and we can regain our independence. Isn't it interesting that we're dependent upon China and others unless we go to work ourselves again? It's amazing. When I was a child, rarely did you see made in Taiwan or made in China. If you did, you laughed. Yeah, your hammer came from China, right? We just thought it was funny. Now everything comes from there. I have nothing against Chinese people, but I do know we have a responsibility for all those people that laid their life down for independence for us to just give it away again. Yes, I'm an African American. My forefathers were in Africa, yes, but a lot of my forefathers are right here. I'm an American with the rights of an American, with a lifestyle of an American, and I owe. I don't care who doesn't like my color. I have a responsibility too. I'm nobody's victim. You don't owe me a thing. If you don't like my color, I don't care. I get to create whatever canvas I want in this country, and I'm going to take it. And I'm going to work it through. Won't you lock arms with me? Work with me. We can do this together. Let's embrace it. Let's embrace this thing. I know some of you, if you do know me personally, you might think of me as a workaholic. It's not true. It's just the dreams that I have for my family that I was told I could have as an American. I believe in them, and they're worth the work I put in. So if I gave all those jobs I had when I worked jobs, if I gave them 8 hours a day, clearly I can give my own businesses 8 hours a day, 8 to 10 or 12 or 14, whatever it takes. So there's a lot to look at here. Some of you have dreamed of some great things, and the company you've worked with might not be in business when this is over. There's plenty of things you can do, but it's going to begin with you going to work. Invest your time into it, certainly. Don't spend all of it being entertained. That's what we're paying for now. We were taught that you should go to the Philippines and get that's what I was taught. Get a call center, someone to answer all your calls. You go to India, get the call centers. You get your programmers from India, which I have my entire program and blockchain team are all from India. I didn't realize the great impact, and God forgive me for that. But certainly we got to do some stuff at home. But at home we've got to play right. To Uncle Sam and all of my political leaders, you need to stop punishing creative innovators so that they can't do business here. Stop it. Stop pretending to give to the poor by taking away their jobs. You take away their jobs when you punish us for having companies. You should make it easy for us to have companies so we can provide more jobs. Yeah, that's right. What else? I think we all have to play fair. I think that at the end of the day, if I see someone needing something and I have it within my reach, I should work with them to help them to resolve it. That's the kind of country we've been. We created and innovated more than everybody else because we were constantly resolving problems. We can do that together. Interesting. A lot of people say, well, things didn't go bad until we took the Bible out of schools. I don't really believe that. I think the tragedy came when we stopped believing and worshiping a God and the reading the Bible at home. So if you did that, you'd never have a problem with the school. You wouldn't care if they took it in or out of the school. It's not the school's responsibility. It's a home's responsibility. There's a lot of stuff like that. So I don't get off on a tangent, I want you to note that I wanted to do this live, even though I don't know how to see you or any of that stuff. I can see my notes. I don't see where to chat with you. But maybe you don't even know that I'm having it. Maybe you're watching a recording, so it's okay. I put lessons at... I can't even understand my own writing. Anyway, I just want to say I love you guys. I pray for you and your families. I hope everyone is all right, but we have responsibilities. While if your family's not touched yet, be working on something. Don't just entertain yourself at home. Take advantage of it. Do something. There's things you can do. And you know, we could all surf Facebook, YouTube, and have fun and play solitaire, but we really can get a lot more out of it. We don't need to be independent. If you think about the independence of the Philippines, of India in 1947, you can think of all these different countries finally getting their independence, and Cuba, who's praying to get theirs. There's so much. Realize what we really have. And there's nothing wrong with having a global economy. But when the majority of all the resources that keep us alive are coming from somewhere else, we have to rethink it. How dare we make fun of Venezuela, who doesn't make anything of their own? For years, everything was outsourced, and it's costing them everything. We could do better, right? Anyway, I don't like to get on and talk economics, but clearly it must be done because you need to know your role in economics, in the economics of your family, the economics of your country that you're living in. No matter if you are born in this country or not, wherever you were born, you have a responsibility in that country as well. God bless you guys. I'm going to figure out this live stuff and do more of them, but for now I just needed to test this and share my heart with you. Peace, yo.